It's your boy Michael of All Trades. This is FiguresMOAT. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the highly anticipated, not duplicated yet, Wolverine versus Silver Samurai Marvel Legends from the Gamerverse. So, if you haven't seen these are based off of Marvel vs. Capcom. Actually, this pair right here specifically actually comes from X-Men Children of the Atom, Dakota. So, but they do also appear in Marvel vs. Capcom too. So, you guys know what to do. Smash stuff and whatever. So, we take a look. As we look at the side of the box, you guys can see this artwork right here is actually from Marvel vs. Capcom, from that side, Marvel vs. Capcom 1. And then this render right here was made specifically for this artwork, which is really cool. And then we have the back of the box right here, and it says, the mutant Wolverine unleashes his adamantium claws against martial arts master and foe to the X-Men, Silver Samurai. And so as we look at the back of the packaging and whatever else, it's really cool what they do with this packaging. Here's the bottom box. And then in the front window, we see Wolverine. He's got gripping hands, claws, and he has the Berserker Barrage effect inside of it. And Silver Samurai has his flame shuriken. But let's get out the box and we'll take a closer look. And here it is outside the box, but in the bubbler. I want you guys to see the training stage in the background and get a little bit closer look of just what you're getting in the package. There's even a lightning effect for the sword. So we're going to come out and we're going to start with Wolverine. And here we have Wolverine in all of his glory. So he's a thick boy. It's pretty chunky. You guys can see that his cowl is a lot bigger. If we can zoom in closer on the portrait, you guys can see that snarl on his face, and everything else looks pretty good. The shoulder pads do separate, which is nice. The paint job is really good. You can still see the muscle fibers and stuff looking in his arms, and even on the side details, there's hair, and he's very vascular, veins and stuff in the arm. We have pinless arms and whatnot, and the tiger shot right there is really nice. Here's a closer look up at the portrait. You guys can see. Again, he turns to the side. That looks really good as well. Things of that nature. His body, his biceps again, full 360. If you move the shoulder pads, you can rotate them and whatnot. Shoulder pads do adjust, so that's pretty cool. Again, he does have double jointed elbows, but his bicep is so huge, so it's really cool. Looking at the details again on his arm, the hair and stuff it's really nice. And these claws, apparently these detach. So we're gonna check something to see if it detaches real quick. Apparently Logan didn't get the memo, but they do detach. They pop out. You can port them back in. And yeah. Anyway, let's make this more PG. And now that he's back normal, ab crunch goes like that. He can bend down all that far. His head can go all the way up there, which is cool because you can get him into all kinds of hero poses and whatnot. It's funny that the non-flying characters get better head movement and whatnot. It does have butterfly joints on the back, so you can get some really menacing poses out of them. The upper body does twist as you work your way down. You get the thigh cut on both sides. No boot cut, but he can get his legs up a lot past 90 actually, and he can actually almost do the splits. So that's cool. The knees, you get double jointed pinless knees, which that's really cool as well, and a lot of people are looking for that kind of stuff. And then just the toe articulation up and down. So overall, this thing is great. You can put him in his iconic, maybe put him in the iconic X pose. People are worried about him being too beefy for that, but you guys can see, it's literally right there. Now, let's take a look at the accessories. So, with the Wolverine side, you get this stand. This stand does come for these. And these claws They're colored on the inside, and apparently they snap together. There's little pegs on the back for them to slide in, and you guys see one on each side where you can slide them in, and you can make the effect piece like the Berserker Slash. So if you wanted Wolverine to go berserk and go ham banana sandwich, you have that effect right there. Almost seamlessly blends in with the with his adamantium claws. I stumbled with that. Also, you get a pair of hands, like fistless hands. You get that in there, but let's be real, nobody's gonna use that. But yeah, that is Wolverine, his accessories. Now we all know I'm not good at any kind of poses, so that pose for me is probably the pose I'm gonna leave him in, and everything else. And the size for him, let's get a size comparison to another Wolverine, shall we? Here he is next to the X-Men '97 Wolverine, and it doesn't even pale in comparison. Like, this Wolverine is obviously bigger, not just muscular, but it's taller. Look, I have him spread, and they're still the same height, and that's without the cowl. So this Wolverine could be the best Wolverine out there in the market to this day. But let's stop giving Wolverine his glow, and let's talk about Silver Surfer. As we look at Silver Samurai, first thing we do is look at his portrait. This is his X-Men Children of the Atom book. They did cover in Marvel Capcom 2. The shoulder blades, they have the same issue like Omega Red did. They just popped off. Literally, they just popped off. Does have his elbows and the paint, but the knees are pinned, which is crazy. I don't know why they're calling this Silver Samurai. They should genuinely call this the Gray Samurai, because yeah, it's all gunmetal gray. Bringing him in for a closer look. The paint, I will say, on his face is really good. The head does pivot, but there's no real up or down because, well, he's pretty stiff. And again, with the shoulders, you know, you can lift them up, but literally they pop off. I mean, I get it, you know what I mean, but it's weird. The upper body, the upper body does twist left and right, and then he can bend back that far, and he can crunch that far, but the waist does not pivot at all. Like I said before, we've got pinned elbows. Yeah, pinned elbows. And pinned legs as well. Under the skirt, you guys can see that. The skirt's not too bad. You know, it's not too egregious. The knees do bend. You get kind of a double bend. But again, the knees are pinned, so I don't know how these are going to last over time. The paint job it's pretty good. You know, can't really complain about the paint, except for maybe the color of the paint. There's nice details on the boots and stuff. There's no Andy symbol under his foot, so nobody else owns this. As we look at the back, you guys can see it's seamless. The back muscles into the ab, whatever else. But again, I hate the fact they put I know why they put so much effort in the Wolverine. They're like, yo, let's give you the best Wolverine, but let's give you this really, really mid Samurai. But let's take a look at his accessories. So here we have his katana. You know, it's got the same kind of hue color, which is cool because it comes with this lightning effect right here that should just wrap around the sword. So let's see if we can figure that out. I imagine it goes like that, question mark? I don't know, but it's a really cool effect. And then you get the stand, obviously. You get the stand, and you get the stand for this fire shuriken. For those who don't know, he can emit fire, he can do ice, and he can do lightning. So that's actually a really cool effect to have. And there he is with the lightning effect on the sword and the shuriken. You know, again, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine. You can tell that this set was literally made for Wolverine. And here it is to give you ideas what you guys could potentially set up in your displays to pose them both in action poses. I suck at posing, but hey, we're gonna give it a shot. And here they are, Fated Rivals, James Howlett, Wolverine. and Silver Samurai. Overall, was this pack worth the money? For this Wolverine, yes. It's kind of like the pack should have been called Wolverine and featuring Silver Samurai. Literally, this Wolverine is probably the best Wolverine out there. If you can get past him being a little bit bulky, you know, and the poses that and stuff you could actually, you know, put him in, this is great. And then Silver Samurai is just Silver Samurai. But what do you guys think? Yo, let me know in the comments below. I might well trade. This is FiguresMOAT. Like, subscribe, all that other stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces. Ooses.